What's up, everybody? How we doing out there? Dave, why are you over there, Colin? How's everyone going? It is October 8th, 2024. We are here, and holy shit, one day changes things, Dave. We had
changed a lot, actually.
Absolute excitement over the last day, so we're happy to be here. Hope everyone is happy to be joining us. If you're watching on X, hello. Give us a repost and follow us over there. And go share the show. If you're watching on Facebook, give us a follow and share. On YouTube, not Instagram, fuck Instagram. On YouTube, smash the like button, share the show with your friends. Alrighty, got all that out. Just go follow us around everywhere at Talking and all that. Why am I saying Talking and All? The Alex Cuesta Show. Where the fuck am I right now, Dave?
A little confused.
Where am I? That's the other show. Go follow Talking and Novels if you like track and field. I can cross promote from here. Can't do it the other way around. Anyway, we got not a ton of topics wise to talk about, but I'm rocking the shirt, so we got things going on with the Jets. But I'm gonna do my little preamble before we get going. Every day I come on here, every time I jump on a mic for this show, I'm gonna talk about the Epstein client list because motherfuckers have got to know. We need to make sure that we keep pushing to get anyone that was on that list exposed. I don't care who it is. I don't care where they are, what they do, where they're from. You need to, if you watch another show, you need to leave a super chat and comment, hey, why aren't you talking about the Epstein client list every single episode? Even if it's for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is enough. That if every single one of your creators talks about it a little bit every single day, then it's absolutely going to get more eyes to it, and more people are going to be forced to pay attention to it, and maybe it can get some movement. So that's my little preamble there. Quickly with Alex Jones, I talk about every day. He's getting canceled left and right. He's more than welcome to jump on here if he ever wants to make his voice heard. We're small, but it's another outlet for him to come here. So when his voice is being officially canceled, we will also be a beacon to stand with Alex, even though I've said it plenty of times. I don't always agree with Alex Jones, but he has a right to have his voice heard, and plenty of people want to hear it. So he's always welcome here. For Hurricane Helene, we're going to talk about Hurricane Milton bearing down in a little bit later today. But Hurricane Helene, that effort is still going on. Asheville, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, parts of Florida, they still need help. And this is going to be something that I'm going to be a broken record on, because this isn't for a few weeks. This isn't going to be for a few months. This might be for a few years, because especially North Carolina, Asheville, the houses, cars, everything were just moved. Land actually moved there. And if you've seen any pictures of the devastation or carnage, you absolutely, if you can help somehow. Whatever local charity or big charity you want to donate to, I recommend doing Mercury One, mercury1.org, Glenn Beck's. They are on the ground there. They're still in Lahaina, over in Hawaii. They help the people of East Palestine. And they're the ones out there using their helicopters as FEMA is being a bunch of pieces of shit and basically setting up and taking food away from private people and taking resources away so they can distribute it out the right way. So support whoever you want. I recommend mercury1.org. Go give whatever you can. If you can volunteer. Oh, real quick, Dave, did you hear about Representative Corey Mills and just how much of a fucking badass that man is?
No, I did not.
He is in the middle of a campaign right now to try and get reelected in Florida, and it's tight. It's a tight campaign. Dave, when I tell you, I was listening to Glenn Beck the other day, and he left his campaign from Florida and right away went up. He works with Mercury One, went in there and was on the fucking helicopter. He's a former special forces guy on a helicopter, just pulling people off the mountains. And he's been in Asheville. He's not on his campaign trail at all right now. He also was over in, overseas with Afghanistan, helping people out over there. Like, he just leaves. He just doesn't give a fuck. Like, he's like, oh, I work for Congress. Don't care. I'm needed somewhere else. So if you're in Florida, support Corey Mills. And if you're not in Florida, still support him, because he's an absolute badass that deserves to be reelected, and quite literally he is serving. He's being what a public servant should be. So he's out there. He's being awesome, helping people out on the ground. So that's fucking sweet. But yeah, any way you can help for Helene victims, and potentially going to be Milton victims coming up, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And my last little preamble, Moms for Liberty. with all the hurricane stuff, I'm not going to go crazy with Mom's Celebrity, but it's still important that even though we're helping with disaster relief, you don't want to have a disaster happen in your own hometown, in your own area. And that happens when leftists come in, get on your school boards, get on your town councils. If you can help out Mom's Celebrity, donate $1. All we need is $1. And if you could tell every Trump supporter, hey, give $1 to Mom's Celebrity, even if you could tell every Trump supporter, give $1 for hurricane relief, that's millions of dollars flowing into both of these, and everyone could spare $2, right, Dave? Can you spare $2?
Possibly. I'm not actually sure if I can.
You poor son of a bitch. But
that's how it is.
But for the most part, you could spare $2. Not asking for 5, 10, 20, $2, one to each organization. If you do it, tell everyone you know, get them to do it. Even if half of Trump's base does it, then you're getting $35 million to each of these organizations. So it can be huge. Please go do that. But yeah, Dave, let's jump into some, I don't know if it's fun news, good news, but some fun
news. It's news.
Starting on first, and Nate is going to lead us into this with you. Salah getting the escort out really got you shook. Not shook. Not shook, Nate. Nate, you were here last. I mean, you came in a little late. Maybe you didn't hear Dave's rant, but Dave was talking about. Go ahead, Dave.
It is slightly surprising with the timing of it. Woody doesn't fire coaches mid-season. He just doesn't do that.
No, he does not.
So it is an interesting thing to happen on this day, particularly just to rip the Band-Aid off, especially when we just talked about it last night. But it almost seemed like the Devontae Adams news is going to drop today, and instead we got this. So it was very interesting switch up. But
Devontae Adams news is still in the cards, apparently.
Yeah, but apparently talks have slowed down because Derek Carr is injured and because Robert Salah is out, and there's some,
Aaron Rodgers is still there. He better fucking come.
But of course, we're talking about Jets fire Robert Salah after 2-3 start and put Jeff Ulbrich in the interim.
Yep.
Now, like I said, this is really weird, kind of out of left field for it to happen at this moment. And I don't know. I've heard so many different opinions on this, especially with Hackett not getting removed. And there are things that go into that as well. I feel like everyone seems to be just throwing this on Rodgers, and I can understand why it would be thrown on Rodgers because it didn't seem like they were necessarily getting along completely. But I feel like that really doesn't take into account his record throughout his years being here and the consistent problems that we've seen throughout his years being here. I feel like that's really fucking short-sighted.
Record for a head coach in Jets history.
I feel like it's really short-sighted. I'm not saying that Rodgers could have had no input in this because he 100% could have.
Certainly could have.
But it's just really short-sighted to act like it was just his fucking decision to do this. And I don't know, a lot of people have their 2 cents on it. Bill Barnwell right here has a whole article about it. He doesn't think it was the right move.
Bill Barnwell's also wrong about a lot.
He is 100%, but I'm going to bring him up because he is wrong about a lot. But his take is basically defensive head coach. Why would that matter when your offense is an issue? Security.
It's probably standard operating procedure.
I've seen that debunked as like an actual security escort. It was like head of security who goes with everyone that gets fired.
And he's probably friends with Robert, so he's probably walking him off, saying goodbye. It's probably less of a security escort and more of a...
like it wasn't an actual security escort. It was just a normal procedure type of thing. And look, we have a million fucking Manish Metas around this goddamn organization consistently.
Always.
We 100%. So many things that come out are usually going to be overblown. What?
All the bloggers now too, like they're all
100%
so ridiculous.
One person that I like most of the time, sometimes he posts some shit that I don't like, but because he says like things like yikes and shit like that. I hate that shit. But
can't stand any of that.
But Connor Hughes has been pretty fucking good generally. When he comes out,
Connor Hughes moments is when he first got shifted to do the Giants beat as well.
Yes,
and there was such a war where the Jets were like so mad at him.
Yeah,
he's been pretty good about
I actually like Connor Hughes. I know a lot of people don't love him, but I actually like him. He seems to be one of the more consistent ones that report on the Jets, at least.
Matt Santos ripped him for the fact that his one tweet was just an absolute fucking mess.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mess.
Twitter fingers occurred there,
but he came out with sources that Nate Hackett was never going to never be fired, but his responsibilities were going to be demoted. Play calling was going to be given to Todd Downing, which I don't know how much that exactly would necessarily be helpful.
If that's going to be good or not.
Yes. And then He literally says roughly 5 minutes later, he was called into Woody Johnson's office and fired. Yet again, people take that as if fucking Nate Hackett immediately called A-Rod and just said, they're doing it. And he put in a call to Woody and then he got fired. I don't see how the fuck that happens. Yet again, if Rodgers is involved in this, it happened days before. It happened a day before because apparently Woody did talk to him. He said he didn't talk to him about Salah. Do I believe that? Not necessarily. No. But it wasn't in these fucking 5 minutes. That's weird and conspiratorial, and I don't understand why
I don't think Rodgers necessarily pushed for Salah to be fired, but I do believe that apparently it was reported that it was Ulbricht, an unknown player, and Woody Johnson on a call. And it was probably one of those things where Woody was saying to them, listen, I want to let go of Robert. Jeff, I want to make you our interim. Aaron, what do you think of this situation? And Rodgers was probably just like, hey, you do what you think is best. We have been very stale. Maybe new life is good. And you know what? That wouldn't be uncommon considering he's your veteran quarterback. He is your franchise quarterback. And you're going to get them guys involved.
One thing that's very contradictory to the thought of how much Rodgers is in love with Nate Hackett is that the Jets were going after Arthur Smith, and the reason why they didn't get him was because he took the Steelers OC job instead.
Yep.
So I'm not trying to defend Rodgers here, but people went fucking apeshit on Jets Twitter, and it was ridiculous. You have to take in everything that came out and then make your decision on what you're going to say.
Let me find this retarded tweet because this might be the worst thing that I saw on Jets Twitter. And here's the thing. It's not Jets Twitter. Jets Twitter defended the actual organization for this, but let me find this fucking idiot.
It's just bothersome because I like I said, I'm not trying to defend Rodgers here. I wouldn't be surprised if he had to play in this. It's not surprising at all if he had to play in this. They're 2-3 when they shouldn't be. The Broncos game was fucking terrible. Yeah. The Vikings game, they came out awfully. Like you can't have that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that had happened.
So here's this idiot, and she's a moron, okay? I want to preface this. Emma Vigland is a moron.
Oh my god!
Everything that she generally says, she's not.
She the one that started this. I don't know if she started it, but she definitely.
This is her because I saw all the Jets beat writers reporting to this, and just to mind you,
she also has the tech, so she probably reaches farther. It might have been someone else who started, and she echoed.
Free Palestine in the bio, so you know she's a moron. All right, so she says, and this was at 10:11 a.m., which is not too long, like minutes after the news came down. Shefty was in there. And she says, I'm not saying Salah wasn't already on the hot seat. He was. But it's important to
point guarantee you this bitch doesn't watch football. I guarantee you she doesn't watch football.
He wore a Lebanon arm patch during the game on Sunday. So here's the thing. What she's implying is racist white guy. Okay? That's what she's implying. Racist white guy got rid of Muslim because he wore a Lebanon patch, and he doesn't agree with, he's very, a Zionist. She's basically saying Woody Johnson's a Zionist. Okay. So one thing to keep in mind, Woody Johnson hired him knowing he's a Muslim.
Also,
real quick, hired him knowing he was a Muslim. Did not give a fuck. First Muslim head coach hired by Zionist white guy, apparently. Number two, he wore this last year. He had the patch on last year as well. And number three, it is league encouraged. It has nothing to fucking do with the Jets organization. League encouraged. And nobody, here's the thing. I had no idea Robert Salah ever had a Lebanon patch on until this bitch brought it up.
So NYJ Matt did make that, like he said it was worn 2023 and he sent the picture on Twitter.
Yeah.
But his response went to Emma Vigland also. Fantastic Jets Twitter follow. NYJ Matt's great.
NYJ Matt is actually one of the good, he's not a beat writer, but he does break stuff.
No, but as a memer and everything, he's great.
And he's not an idiot fan. I'll give it that. NYJ Matt's not one of your zealots.
I like him. He's a great Twitter follower.
We would love to have NYJ Matt. If you ever watch this, we'd love to have you on.
Yes. But he was responding to someone that you love. You love this man.
Who is it?
Oh, you love this man.
If it's Beningo. I think it was the Beningo thing.
You love this man.
Oh my!
I got to say something else, and I hate to get I hate to get political, but I have to in this case.
Poor man's
Salah had the flag of Lebanon on his shirt the other day.
Don't fucking shake your head with
Now,
that, Asman.
We all know what's going on in the Middle East. Okay, there's no sugarcoating what's going on in the Middle East.
What's going
on? We all
on?
know about Hezbollah firing all these rockets out of Lebanon and all what's going on there into Israel. And I wonder, and I think Salah is just, we know he's Muslim. I think he's representing the people of Lebanon with his, because I don't believe the people of Lebanon really are happy with Hezbollah. I mean, I don't think that's the case at all. And I wonder if that has played into this in a way as well. Because there was some, I did see this on the regular news that this was actually brought up. So I'm wondering if this has something to do with it as well, Jake. I mean, I hate to get into this kind of thing, but
turn this guy the fuck off.
I think it needs to be said.
Turn him off.
I kind of wish we got Asman's response there because I want to see how he dealt with it.
He's a poor man's Francesa who's trying to stay relevant. Beningo sucked on Beningo and Roberts. He was never good on the fan, and he is not an ally of anyone on the fucking Jets. Because what did he do not too long ago? Didn't he let out like something that Salah had said?
I think I remember that.
Salah said something
Wilson was so
confidence about Wilson, and he let it out. Like the guy's a piece of shit, and he's just trying to keep himself relevant. He was always a poor man's Francesa and was never that good. Always just a fucking Debbie Downer, typical Mets Jets fan that cried about every little thing, never saw a positive. But Ningo is irrelevant, and I say irrelevant.
I feel like Asman was in like the Mike Myers Kanye West situation where he's sitting there as Kanye's talking about how George Bush doesn't care about black people. And he's just sitting there like, what do I do?
Idiotic take. And if he gets offended and never comes on your show, Jake, you are bigger than Joe Beningo, Jake Asman. I will point that out to you. Jets fans like you better than Beningo, okay? So you don't need him to come and do spots on your show. He's irrelevant, and he just tries to say this type of shit. He's always been a shock jock, and he's always been bad at it. And now he's just saying dumb shit because he just gets invites, and he needs to accept. I guarantee, even after I said this, if I invited Joe Beningo on this show, he would still come on just because he needs to come on places to stay relevant. He's such a fucking tool.
But going from the conspiracy theory that Salah was fired for having a fucking Lebanon patch, which is only really touted by people who haven't watched the Jets play a fucking snap during his tenure. That's the only way that's touted. If
and
you
here's
don't
the
watch
thing.
that.
Here's the proof. No one cares about race. No one cares about any of this shit because it wasn't even made a huge deal. It was a semi-big deal. It was mentioned. He's the first Muslim head coach in the NFL, blah, blah, blah. But then nobody gave a fuck. It was Ken Robert Salah head coach. Yeah. And he proved throughout his time there that I don't want to say he was a bad actual coach.
He never lost the players. That's the good thing about him. He never lost the players.
Apparently he lost the locker room at the end right now.
Maybe. He didn't lose them in the fact that they wanted to play. They wanted to come back.
Garrett Wilson 2 weeks ago coming out and talking about his route tree being terrible and things like that was not a good sign. That's one of your leaders. Yes. One of your great players.
And that seems to be the issue with Salah. I don't know internally how everything has happened, but with the way people talk on the way play like Garrett Wilson, like Quincy just recently, and even Rodgers on the podium when talking about the cadence, it seems like Salah doesn't actually hold people accountable. He's a little bit too good to the player.
I don't know if that's true. When he said, and you know what, it goes to show that Salah maybe was an athlete at one point, but not a very super high level athlete. Okay,
Salah is a traitor. Changed my mind.
X-Wing, you are completely fucking right.
Woody saw through him. He kicked him out. He had the SWAT team fucking
Robert Salah deported for fucking.
I saw a lot of. I should have pulled those up. I saw a lot of good shit. The Siraj side of Twitter had so many good memes.
Oh my god, it's a great meme. But you know, in the end, you hear him talking about like the thing that stuck in my mind. I feel like this may be why Woody fired him. One of the reasons when he's like, "Oh, you know, they're grown men. They know they did wrong. It's not going to do any good to just make them do a bunch of push-ups and embarrass them." And it's like, motherfucker, what's film session for?
And the thing is,
all people out. You are supposed to hold these individuals accountable. And you know what? I said after the things going wrong, they should have made a fucking one Jets drive of just guys doing push-ups in practice.
Well, the thing is, it's not. So he frames it as doing push-ups in practice.
That's referencing push-ups.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying you don't need to do that. The accountability comes. You fumbled. there's two choices there. You fumble a football, you're either out for a while, or you're getting the ball right back, and you better not fucking fumble, and you better run well, and like as like a trust thing. So there's multiple ways to hold people accountable, and there are times where he seems to be fine with it, but there are plenty of times where he seems wrong with it. But the consistent issues that have been with Salah: poor time management, poor starting. We don't start games well.
Very rarely showing emotion when shit is going wrong. And I did used to see some fire, and maybe you can count on your hand how many times he got fiery in the past 3 years.
Yes. And one of the things that I hate that was brought up, it's just like one Greg Zerloin kick and a couple of things going our way, and we're 4-1 instead of 2-3. That's correct. But a game against the Denver Broncos with the talent we have on this team should be a fucking blowout.
And where your defense played against Sam Darnold, who was one of the hottest quarterbacks coming in, and made him look like Jet Sam Darnold, okay?
Yes.
Like, we
should be blowing teams out. And Salah is not good at that. During his tenure, we have not been able to capitalize and put up points and do these things. Even with LaFleur. LaFleur tried to get creative. Now, obviously, he had Wilson to play with, but he tried to get creative a little bit, but not a lot. A lot of LaFleur's offense was still very vanilla. It wasn't incredibly creative.
All this shit makes me miss Brian Schottenheimer. We didn't know what we fucking had.
But... And I love, yet again, another great Jets Twitter follow, and I think just a good follow all in general is Robbie Sabo right here.
I love Robbie.
Jets X Factor.
All of Jets X Factor does a fantastic job. I know there's people that don't like Nania in the Jets X space. They say he's not a nice guy.
Nania talks a lot of shit.
Nania talks a lot of shit, but you know what, though? The breakdowns on that fucking website are better than any I've ever seen.
Yes.
With the way that they do it.
Because someone responded to Robbie about Ulbrich becoming interim head coach. He said, I'm sure Guru Ulbrich is fixing this as we speak. And Robbie, great response here. This is what happens when we split offense and defense, and it's not even close to reality. Basically, expanding on the idea that your head coach, his mindset coming into the game is what sets what the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator is going to do. And if you make the excuse that, Robert Saleh is a defensive guy, so he just let Nathaniel Hackett take care of the offensive thing, then why the fuck is he a head coach?
It was the biggest knock on Rex Ryan. Yeah, Rex Ryan didn't know what the fuck was going on offense.
Exactly. You should be a D coordinator. There's no reason for him to be a head coach there.
Exactly.
But I will say this. It was obvious what Salah's mindset was, and he digs into it in another tweet that I'll bring up. But Salah's mindset is our players are better. Our system is better. We just have to do what we do greatly. And in defensively, it kind of worked when we stayed in our shell. We're running around. We're doing the things that we do.
They are very vanilla on defense, and it works because they do have the talent to be vanilla.
Yes, and they wanted to instill a run game. They want to do certain things. Funny enough, you dig into press conferences, you can see this mindset from Salah. When he talked about Zach Wilson doing the boring things, look at Aaron Rodgers doing the boring things. We don't do exciting things. Salah wants a very ground and pound, very grinded out offense, and he just wants it to be that no matter who the opponent is. And that's the issue. That's not how you can play in the NFL today. It's a neat thing to have. It's something you can instill, but you have to get on their weaknesses first and then instill something. And that's what we haven't seen under Salah's tenure ever. Not with Nathaniel Hackett, not with Matt LaFleur. Not at all. And then that is the biggest issue. And like I said, Robbie goes into it in this tweet. I'm not going to read out the whole thing because it's a little long, but he also brings it up in this tweet. Oh, wait. Did I bring up the wrong one? I did.
You suck.
I know I suck. He also brings it up. Keep clicking the wrong things. I'm going crazy. It's because it's hot in this room and I'm sweating. He also brings it up in this tweet because someone said, how is he laying out the vision each week and everything? A genuine question to Robbie. And he said, thinks the vision's far too internal, meaning if we do what we do well, what we want to do well will be anybody. In a way that can work. But if you're not doing it well, and if you're not game planning against what other teams like to do, which weirdly enough, we seem to do it against the Patriots, and then just fucking stopped. And then just absolutely stopped. So I don't know everything that was going on, but if you're necessarily surprised or about Salah being fired and you haven't been paying attention,
No.
He just hasn't done enough. He seems like a nice guy. I don't hate him. It's the same thing with like Todd Bowles. I like these guys, but we're not winning, and this is the year to win. We cannot drop the Broncos, and the Vikings was a tough game, but you can't come out looking fucking lifeless. You cannot do that, even though we had a good comeback. That's nice. You can't come out looking lifeless. It is not going to help. And look, you could say maybe he should have had the chance to really build that up, see what happens with him demoting Nathaniel Hackett and everything against the Bills. But that is for first place. And I don't know if Woody wanted to sit here and say, why would we watch the same thing happen again under Salah when we could try to move somewhere else? You could say it's a weird time. You could say a lot of wrong things about it, and you probably have arguments for that. But it's not like it's the worst thing in the world, especially because this team should be a lot better than it is right now.
They should be much better. And I'm trying to look up what, because Woody Johnson was busy today, man. Yeah. Because he also let out a statement to Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
Let's see.
During the press conference, someone asked him about it, and he basically said, jump on 95.
I'm pulling the quote up. I have a Fox News article up here. Let me just.
He basically said, let's get this fucking done, dude. Like, this is nonsense. I think he literally said, I've never seen this during my time here. Like, I've never seen
he was obviously bothered, and I feel like that, Joe Douglas is on thin ice, man, because he wants to get this done. Yes and no. I feel
yes and no, because he also said during that press conference, this is the best team he's had in 25 years running this team.
Yeah.
So he said this is the best roster we've had, which is
not wrong.
Yeah, but it's also a glowing endorsement of what Douglas has built.
So the quote was that they highlight here, Hassan, get in your car, drive down 95 and come to the New York Jets, and we can meet you, give you an escort right into the building, which is the opposite of what they did with Robert Salah today. You'll fit right in, love it here, feel welcome, and accomplish great things with us. He said more. Let me see if I can find the rest of the quote, because he quite literally was just like, hey, basically like, let's get this done. Yeah. Get back over here. So here's something interesting, Dave. You'll enjoy this. I don't know if you saw. I got some people mad at me two people particularly mad at me on X, because Harrison Glazer. I don't know how to say it name. Maybe Glazer. Harrison Glazer, who also he's a pretty good follow. He is a very Jets guy though. So if you don't like very positive Jets people, you won't like Harrison. But I like Harrison. I think his tweets are just fine. He put up a bunch of percentages, a bunch of odds for the next head coach. And he has via at Sports Betting AG, Belichick, Vrabel, Ben Johnson, Bobby Slowick, who I like Bobby Slowick, but I want a name guy. Todd Monken, Joe Brady, Aaron Glenn, Matt Nagy, who else? Arthur Smith.
It's not Nagy, it's Nagy.
Nagy. Adam Stenovich, Terrell Austin, who I don't know. Brian Flores would be interesting, and Ulbrich coming in at the bottom there. And I gotta include John Gruden in there. So I had Sun God Nika, I don't know if I could say that on YouTube, saying hell no, and Tom saying no, you don't.
That's fucking funny. I mean, that's just funny.
It's great. It's great. But you know what, though? The thing is, Dave, how would you feel if the Jets go after Gruden?
I don't know, man. Have you seen how insane he looks recently?
I don't give a fuck how he looks. We'd run a pro offense. I don't care how he looks. We'd run a pro offense.
Look at TikTok Gruden.
We have all looked some ways.
When I was calling plays, I just loved it when our quarterback shredded the defense.
He's all fucking coked up. Leave him alone.
That's what has me feeling really nicey. Like watching Jared Goff go 18 for 18, 292 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Could you imagine not doing your job?
Pre-game warm-up. Jaden Daniels, just a rookie, scary, 26 dude. Out of 30.
Could you imagine not doing your job and having to come back and answer to him?
He rushes for 47. He's doing everything. Shredded, baby.
I love this. You kidding me?
Oh. Entertainment factor, it's there. He just looks absolutely fucking insane.
We're looking at Hack No Cap's future, though, that he is John Gruden in so many ways. Hey, listen, give me Spider 2 Y Banana, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm in. But so I wanted to bring that up. That was fun. So it's interesting, too, because we have the Devontae Adams stuff still floating around. Obviously, that cooled down, but Aaron Rodgers still exists. So it's like,
He's going to be at McAfee tomorrow, apparently.
Going to be at McAfee tomorrow. And also, Nate, I think Nate brought it up yesterday. We don't know if Josh Allen's playing this Monday. So this might have also factored into why firing Salah makes sense right now, because you don't necessarily, if you're preparing for Mitch Trubisky, very different than preparing for Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at it going, Ulbrich is already a respected, like you said, respected guy. Everyone in the area likes him. We know he can coach, right? So this is a good time to see if he has to now feast on a backup, and now we are demoting Hackett to just go fuck off somewhere, and Downing is going to call plays. Let's see what now two different coaches coming in, because Ulbrich's style might also be different than Salah's as a DC, because Salah generally handled the defense as well.
It's really interesting because the way I look at Ulbrich, he actually has a similar energy to him that Salah had when he was coming into the Jets.
Yeah.
Salah had a fucking get back.
No nonsense bullshit.
Yeah,
all
but
gas,
also
no
just
break.
Extremely high energy and everything like that, which Salah seemed to have waned from Salah,
Zach
which I don't
Wilson
know.
will fucking drain you too.
Well, yes, but I also don't know if he was trying to be more professional in a way. I don't know if he was trying to do other things. I don't know what exactly went on in his head, but it kind of lost from him. And I feel like that's where things got lost as a head coach well.
The edge was gone.
Exactly. So, and I feel like Ulbrich has that edge still, like that Salah had. And I feel like there's a lot of similarities to what they were.
What's a funny thing that
actually, because they're both from San Francisco.
Funny thing I heard about Salah was, you remember watching Hard Knocks and stuff where Salah was cursing up a storm and things like that? Apparently it's not him. Apparently he's not a guy that curses a ton. He was just kind of playing it up for the cameras. And to me, that goes wrong. That goes wrong right there. Because if you're willing to sit there and listen to the HBO directors or the Max directors say, hey, we need this out of you, it's Hard Knocks, and do that, that's just telling me that you're not a leader of men. That you're willing to be, because imagine somebody from HBO going to Rex Ryan, you might have to tone it down. He'd be like, get the fuck off my field. Like, you would have never toned it down. So I don't like the fact that people were saying like, what you saw there, is not very much Salah. What you see on one Jets drive, that's typically Salah. And he's not very cursing. He only curses rarely when he needs to get a point across.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like he wanted to get his point across very often. And that's the problem.
Yeah, no, it's a weird situation, but his record stands for itself.
Yeah,
the consistent issues stand for themselves.
Yeah,
he's going to get a good defensive coordinator job. The man can still he can still coach a defense. He's still a goddamn guru in that.
The Cowboys will definitely be calling him
100%. I hope the best for him. To be quite honest,
I've nothing against Robert Saleh. He just wasn't a good head coach.
Exactly, it just didn't work out. Things needed to change, especially in a win now roster.
Yeah, and and I'm hoping that he learns from this. That's the thing. I'm hoping that he learned a little bit from this, because he will get another head coaching shot. He will.
He's fucking Todd Bowles in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and Todd Bowles is doing well. He has Johnny Manziel playing well over there. What do you?
Baker?
Not Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield. I confused the two.
What the fuck? That really confused me. I was like, where did
Baker
that come
is just
from?
Johnny Manziel with talent. That's all he is. Completely. I don't know why I called him Johnny Manziel. I don't know why I've always kind of put them both exactly the same. I really have. They both remind me of each other. Sorry, Baker. You're not Johnny Football. You don't have oil baby money. Anyway.
Holy shit.
That was it.
I thought it was a bit. Thought it was a bit.
No, it was me being retarded. It was me actually being a retard. I will admit when I am a retard. But yeah, no. Salah will eventually, he said he's going to go on vacation. The guy's a millionaire, so I'm not too concerned about him. He's going to go on vacation. He doesn't plan on jumping into any new jobs. So Dave, who would you like to see the Jets go after? Do you want to really give Ulbrich a good shot?
Give Ulbrich a chance. I think you give Ulbrich a chance. The man was going to get head coaching looks anyway.
He was in line.
Very good.
He was going to
very
leave
good
regardless.
coach.
Yes.
Give him a chance. See what he could do. The season's not out of the woods. This next game's for first place in AFC East. So give Ulbrich a good chance, and then go after someone who is actually going to be fucking creative.
Give me Chucky. Give me Chucky.
No, I don't hate that decision. I don't at all.
Or honestly,
funny that Bill Belichick is high on that list, because that whole bit about it.
Kingsbury right now has been running a really good offense.
Yes,
and he could get a second shot at head coaching.
Yes, but it's a different thing to be a head coach. It is a very different thing to be a coordinator.
Call an offense, but he
can't.
But I would love to bring Cliff Kingsbury in to run the offense then. Bring him in with whoever you have and tell Nate Hackett to go pound sand and, go away because, listen, again, I have nothing against Nate Hackett. Nate Hackett, when I was watching the show, actually seems like a really fucking nice guy. He seems like a dude that when you talk to him, I can understand why Aaron Rodgers probably loves the guy because the guy seems incredibly nice. But that also does not bode well to being a coach in football all the time, honestly. So I don't wish anything ill upon Nate Hackett. He's just not a very good offensive coordinator for the New York Jets.
Ben Johnson, Bob Stoops, Bobby Slowick. Look, those aren't bad decisions, to be quite honest with you.
No. Bobby Slowick, I've seen his name thrown around a ton. And the thing is, Nate, the Jets, again, say the Jets make a little bit of a run, and they don't make it all the way. And Aaron goes, he said at the beginning of the year, I'm going to give this team 2 years. Last year doesn't count. So you're looking at maybe Aaron Rodgers for one more year after this one. I do not want a no-name coach.
We know who
Bobby Slowick. Listen, give me Belichick. Okay, I'll take
I love Belichick. Are you kidding me?
But if he brings fucking Matt Patricia as an offensive coordinator, though, I'll fucking kill him. Because that was the dumbest decision to make Matt Patricia as offensive coordinator in New England in the final years.
The thing is, though, is like, just like Robbie put in those tweets, the head coach is not about whether or not you're an offensive guy or a defensive
mandate.
Guy. He sets the mandate on what the team is going to be,
the identity,
how you're going to be, how you're going to play these fucking games. Because the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator have their schemes, they have their certain things that they excel in.
Yep.
But what they're putting on the field all comes from the head coach. All of that comes from the head coach.
Do you think in his career, Tyron Smith has never not been reprimanded for the mistakes that he's been making the last few weeks? I feel like he's sitting there and he's made these last few weeks mistakes and he's looking and going, no one's yelling at me. Coach Carter is just saying hi and saying, you'll get it, kid. Great job. And fucking him. And, that's what disturbs me. That side of the line should be ironclad with him and Simpson. They are two veterans. They're really good. You would think Fashanu would be the problem. Fashanu's not the fucking problem.
He's had some issues, but not penalty-wise.
He's a rookie. He's supposed to.
Yeah. He's
supposed to have those injuries. But he hasn't, missing an assignment here and there. I get it. He's going to do that. He's young. But he hasn't had the brain farts that we've seen. And it's like, I don't know. Tyron Smith came from Dak. Dak did hard counts. It's not like Dak never did hard counts.
Yes. So it's hard really counts weird. Shouldn't be a fucking issue.
And they're fucking pros. Yeah. Okay. If you can't handle a hard count, get out of the pros. So I don't know. I think this is a positive move for the Jets. It showed that Woody is serious. It wasn't rhetoric that he wants to win right now. He's serious about winning now, which is a change for the Jets, right?
Yes.
Because we're used to the same old Jets. It is what it is. We're just going to slog through this season with whatever's there and blah, blah, blah. It seems like Woody's really going after it. Yeah. And if we can land Devontae, and Ulbrich does a good job, this could really be flipped, and this could be the catalyst to a positive season.
Because the thing is, all that needs to change with game calling and play calling is even whether or not it's Nate or Todd. All Ulbrich has to do is just say, hey, guys, call fucking pass play on first down. And then they call a pass play on first down.
Also,
like it's not difficult for a head coach to do these.
Or also, you're in the NFL. When you line up, they don't have to stand still. This isn't money. They don't have to stand still. They can go in motion. You can put multiple guys in motion. You could send one and then send the other. You don't have to. We can try to actually play chess.
Yes.
We don't have to sit there and go, hey, it's power right. Here's Breece Hall. He's really good. We are going to go right and try and stop him. Oh, boy. They hit him at the line. What a surprise. This isn't rock.
That's the thing. The head coach doesn't sit back and let offensive coordinator. No, it's his fucking game. It's his team. Because his ass is on the line most of the time. So, and that was the biggest, that seems to be to have been the biggest issue with Salah. He's a little bit too vanilla, a little bit too old school in what he wanted to do.
And not even old school, because the old school head coaches had accountability for everybody.
I'm saying old school in the fact that we're going to do what we're going to do, and you try to stop us.
But if you think Tom Landry didn't get on his fucking coach's ass when they weren't making adjustments, because here's the thing, you can come in with your identity, and you know what? He's probably going on the great teams impose their will, right? But great teams also need to establish themselves as great teams first. Because right now, no one thinks the Jets are a great team. They think they have great potential, but they can rattle them. They have the offensive line that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, which is right on Coach Carter. And you're looking at it going, we have nothing to fear with this team. They're in shambles. Let's fucking get them off their spot early, and then we could beat them and we can sustain their comeback when they finally get their sea legs back.
It's just like they're just gonna, they're gonna come out and they're going to run a running play right into a stacked box to start the game.
And it's going to be a power zone.
Yeah, and it's insanity to watch it keep happening. Like I said, weirdly enough, against New England, that spell kind of broke. I don't know why they decided to be different then.
But New England was bad because New England's just a bad.
No, not even that. We didn't do the game plans we did for Denver and Minnesota like we did New England. New England, we were letting Rodgers throw the ball around on first. We were doing a whole bunch of things to get things started and get things going. Like things were chugging along because it was a completely different type of offensive style. And then we went right back.
And the thing is, I understand you adjust your game plan by what you see. So here's the thing. Going into the Denver game and even going into this Minnesota game, they are blitz heavy defenses. So what are you going to try and do? Potentially hand the ball to run by them. Because if you can get a seam, you can get into the secondary often. I get that game scheme. I get it. Here's the thing. But you don't sit there and when they are playing you well and when they're being gap disciplined with their blitzes, you don't just sit there and keep doing it because you adjust, right? You sit there and maybe you go instead of you run that same exact look, but you play action. And even if Aaron is incomplete, tell him to go deep. Automatically, that's the option. Play action and throw the fucking ball. That now moves those linebackers back a step. They don't have to sit there and, come downhill on first down. Now you make them think, and now that opens up a run because they're a little bit on their heels.
Yeah.
It's not difficult.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's like you really shouldn't even have the idea of doing a run play to counter the blitz in this day and age because the linebackers are too fucking fast for that. They're just too fucking fast for that.
It works if your gap assignment and you
works
blocks.
It works in certain times and certain design runs. In a Shanahan kind of design run, it can work.
Yes.
But not in a lot of runs. What you do against the blitz nowadays are screens and quick things to your running back that has a linebacker assigned to him, or someone who has the linebacker assigned to him, or someone that's going to beat their man quick. You get them off their
or you do a trips in a bunch where you have guys doing rubs and things.
Exactly.
Like
it's not like you're not going to get a run by them unless you're running a Shanahan type of offense where everyone's fucking moving around and no one knows who's going to get the ball.
See, Nate, I disagree a little bit. I don't think he has too much mileage because we've seen him play well this year. And the thing is, his play has not been the issue. It's been the mental brain farts. So unless he's developing CTE right now as we speak, then it shouldn't be. Then the problems are not physical.
I don't agree with that. I take the Stone Cold approach. I don't agree with CTE.
You don't believe in it?
I don't.
Is that the same thing like what was it called? Derek doesn't believe in fucking leg kicks. Or don't.
Don't believe in jujitsu.
Derek Lewis, if you just get taken out, just get up.
Stand up.
Just stand up. When you're a British,
and he did. He's done multiple times.
He's also
just stand up.
House.
I know.
Him doing it is
stand up. It's not real. Jiu-jitsu isn't real.
We'll have a very interesting conversation. One doesn't believe in CTE. The other doesn't believe in jiu-jitsu.
Who am I to go against Stone Cold Steve Austin? Are you kidding me? I'm not going to go against him.
So all right. So we won't make this a full Jets podcast. We'll wrap up with the Jets. Where do you think we're going to go from here? Do you think we played well? Do you think this is kind of like the shot in the arm? Because sometimes because those two ways. Either
I'm not going to lie.
You get the shot in the arm and you play well, and then we kind of level out and we see what the coach really is made of. Or you look at it and go, we're fucked.
I think we actually do get the shot in the arm because Ulbrich seems pretty fucking good at what he does. Yep. And I think he's really going to want to prove himself. I do think
he's been developing, so he's doing something right.
Yeah, I do think we get the shot in the arm, and I do think that he really tries to right the ship and what he wants to do for the team. So we'll see. I mean, maybe that's me being hopeful, but I know I've seen so many times their interim head coaches come in and there is a shot in the arm for like 1 or 2 games.
Look at Greg Williams.
Yeah, well, look at Antonio Pierce. Look at Bisaccia.
Greg Williams is my favorite, though. Got to take out the head. The body can't move without the head.
But I'm thinking it's going to be a shot in the arm.
I hope so. All right, Dave, let's stop boring people with Jets.
Well, we were talking a little bit about CTE, and this man right here runs CTESPN.
I love this guy.
AB, who has been absolutely on a tear, a generational run, has decided that because he's been stumping for Trump recently, he always talks about Biden shitting his pants, and he wants to just do what AB's just doing fucking everything at this point.
Yeah, he is.
But he put out this tweet, Yinzers, planning a voting registration tailgate for the Jets versus Steelers game October 20th, Sunday Night Football. More details on guests and plans soon. He adds J.D. Vance, Scott Pressler, Donald Trump, CTESPN, Donald Trump Jr., and Elon Musk.
Where's our tag, AB?
No, he's not going to attack.
Fun fact, real quick. You know this, but the guests don't. This is probably last year now. Just randomly on LinkedIn, I asked Antonio Brown to come on the show. And he was like, hey, man, how's it going? And, then he was like, how many followers you have? How much this and that? And I told him, I was honest, like, we're not big. And he goes, yeah, I can't go on that show, man, but thank you. Mm-hmm. And then he tried this. Then he was the owner of that indoor team. And he tried to be like, hey, do you want season tickets after that? But he was nice enough to even respond. So I'll say that AB is a pretty dope dude in that sense where if you can get in contact with him, he'll respond.
Yes. Yeah. But this is his new thing now. He's actually very involved politically.
Maybe we can get him now.
Recently. I don't know about that. But he's very involved politically recently, and it's just wild to witness. But it's interesting that he's planning voting registration because that's actually further than a lot of people think. Maybe he's been paying attention to Scott Presler a lot because he's been a fucking rock star in this.
And he's doing it in Pennsylvania,
exactly.
Which is a massive battleground state in the steel area, which is very union heavy.
Yes, and Presler has already been hammering Pennsylvania fucking hard. Like that man has been great for Republicans in Pennsylvania and for voting registration in Pennsylvania. So AB going to the Steelers game and doing this might actually be pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Steelers fans necessarily fell out of love with AB completely.
No, not at all.
Yeah, especially because he was one of, if not the best wide receiver in the league for a bit, and when he was on the team. So him being there to register people to vote is insane to me, and it's really fucking funny.
Yeah,
and I would love to go just to see that happen.
Dude,
but he's just been everywhere about this shit lately.
And he's been fantastic with it, and he's entertaining too. That's the thing with, it was always like curious whether or not AB runs his own account, and who knows, but it seems like he does because all the shit that he posts is fucking hilarious. Like he is just sometimes just way out in left field, but I just think that, he's entertaining. And this is really, really good in a way for like a Donald Trump, because there's always a big disconnect in pop culture with your Republican candidates. And one of the things that we're seeing with Trump is he is getting a lot of people in pop culture between Antonio Brown. He has a bunch of rappers that are, stumping for him and things like that, really always talking positive about him. And it's just interesting to see, like we talk about the coalition that he's been forming. Trump has such a bizarre coalition around him of people that it's almost hard to be like, how can you not want to potentially be a little bit involved in this? Like, it's pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah, and just to show even more about him just being involved in all of this type of stuff, he actually called out the fact that Elon Musk was not shown at all when he was at the Steelers game, because Elon Musk was there waving a terrible towel, and it's on video. People have it on video. They shared it to Twitter,
and they show Taylor Swift though.
Yes. So AB called it out. He continues to call it out, which is hilarious. But he has been really involved in all this stuff, and I wonder how much of an impact he makes.
I would love for him to go on something like Outkick. I think he'd be perfect with Clay Travis in that group, or even on like
he did do an interview with Jason Whitlock, which is
I know he did, which was oh my god, his interview with Whitlock. Would you bend that over? Didn't we? I think we had it on the show, and
we might have. We might have. I love that interview.
Oh my god! Can you find that? Can you find find that because we gotta play. What was he talking about? Fucking Angel Reese.
He was talking about
Angel Reese. He's like, "Yo, would you bend that over?" How did the OGs say? And fucking Whitlock. He got Whitlock to crack on that one. And Whitlock's a holy man. So, oh my god, that was good. But I feel like he's doing great on his own. The CTESPN's hilarious, but I also think he would do really well on an Outkick or something like that, or even like becoming a regular contributor to Whitlock's show and things like that. Like, I think that would be really, really good if that could be. Did you find it, Dave?
I believe it's this right here.
Let's see. I fucking love this clip if it's it.
I can't pop it up, but
I've turned into a bit of an Angel Reese fan. Because
Angel Reese a baddie. Shout out to Angel Reese. If she start making 100 mils, you're gonna fly me out, baby.
Not because I just love the femininity she's brought in.
She a baddie, huh? Cause you said she a baddie?
It's not my language.
What you say if a girl hot? What would the OG say?
I think she's very feminine, presents herself in.
Come on, man. That's
You see how masculine these women are presenting themselves?
no, but she more.
I know. That's
what you
I
think about that.
What higher praise in this time could I give a woman like you present yourself in a very
Yeah, but they don't like
way?
to hear like that. A feminine way is not telling a woman she's hot. Like, how you tell a woman you hot at 57? You say you smoking? Like, you feel me? You treacherous? Like you a baddie? What'd you call her? I'm trying to learn what an OG is saying. Like,
You're talking OG Christian.
OG Christian, like what's the rapper Christian?
Love the
Lucas?
way she presents herself in a feminine fashion. Wish she'd cover up just a
Yo,
little
that's
bit
some
more.
cracker shit right there. Like, I love the way you present yourself. Like,
That's how. Look, man, these women are coming out all tatted up
listen
and all
to
this.
Lacrosse, right? Lacrosse is a Christian rapper.
Lecrae?
Lecrae, yeah. What would he say?
I'm more into Bizzle. You ever heard
What
of
would
Bizzle?
Bizzle say? Like, what would he say? A baddie?
He's a rapper and he's younger than me.
So what would an OG say? Like, you got some junk in your trunk. You got it going on.
She's fine.
She a
What I would say.
rabbit.
She's fine.
Okay, yeah. All right. Can you just say Angel Reese?
Angel
fine?
Reese is fine for a 6'3" woman.
baddie.
She's a little too tall for me.
So you have been that over?
See, that's why I was being
That
careful.
was just a question. I didn't say, are you going to? I said, will you? Like,
So we agree on Angel Reese.
Absolutely incredible. He has been on a generational run. I've become a pretty big Antonio Brown fan at this point.
Would you bet just out of nowhere? Would you bend that over? Just oh my god. I wonder if Jason Woodlock has changed his tone about Angel Reese as she has just been lashing out at people for.
I don't know. I haven't seen. I see some of his updates, but I haven't seen.
We got to have Shamika back on. We love Shamika
Yes.
Michelle over here. You don't even know who the fuck she is because you were playing hooky when she came on. But we love Shamika. We got to bring her back on, especially now that we're live. I would fucking love to have Shamika on here live.
Yes.
But yeah, no, AB has been great. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna reach out to AB again and see if he tells me to fuck off again. That'll be fun. I reach out and then just like I'll tell him like I think that's dope. Come talk about it. When is the Steelers game?
October 20th.
October 20th. So that actually that's pretty okay. That's 2 weeks from now.
Soon.
All right, that's fun. All right, Dave, what else you got for us today?
So finally, I figured we'll talk about the hurricane that is actually is going to hit very soon into Florida. Hurricane Milton. Now, AP has a live tracker up about everything about Hurricane Milton. It is literally going to just hit Florida so far. It's going to hit Tampa, Orlando.
We'll see how the trajectory changes, but
yes. But it is a Category 5 storm, which is terrible. It's fucking awful.
I think there's only been 4 Cat 5s or something
Yes.
that have hit the United States before.
Yes, but if you need to see more stuff about the updates, AP has this live updater here. Seems to be pretty good in general, but basically everyone in that area should be evacuating. Obviously, they probably already know that.
Yeah.
But it is not going to look well there. In fact,
Yeah, I'm big.
oh, how did you get there?
You don't know what you did. But overall, what's crazy is thank God they have a real governor. Governor DeSantis has him prepared. He is going to make sure that once this hits, everything that needs to get done is going to get done. But I think the craziest thing is if we look at the trajectory, once it leaves Florida, it's probably just going to get stronger or maintain its strength because in the waters when the hurricanes are the happiest. So you're going to see this thing just fucking after it
Would they
gets
be happy or angry?
I mean, for what they're doing, probably happy. They want this destruction. That's what hurricanes are. They're just destruction.
No, I feel like
Was Kid Boo happy or angry, Dave?
it's a completely different question.
No, hurricanes are chaos. Hurricanes
That's
are
completely
Kid Boo
different.
and Storm.
Kid Boo's nature is completely different to what a hurricane is.
No, hurricanes are just fucking dickheads that look to destroy. Kid Boo is a fucking dickhead that look to destroy.
I don't know about that.
Are you trying to say hurricanes are nice people?
I'm trying to say hurricanes happen because they're angry.
Can we do? No, I guess they're kind of going. No, I mean
They're not causing destruction because they're happy.
they might.
They're causing destruction because they're angry.
I think we need to go to hurricane experts to find out if hurricanes are happy or angry, and we need to start advocating for hurricane rights.
This is the time to ask them, actually, whether or not hurricanes are happy or angry. Well, you might be angry in Tampa because you have to evacuate because Waffle House is closing. All the Waffle Houses in Tampa are closing. That's fucking terrifying.
Yes.
That is the actual signifier of get the hell out of the area.
Wasn't that on like one of the like end time predictions or things that the Waffle House is shut down? That shows like that the United States is falling.
Yes, probably. Because Waffle Houses survive fucking everything. And they'll still serve you everything too when you go in there.
Do you think the Waffle House employees are actually going to leave, or are they just staying there and like throw a chair at us, motherfucker, throw a hurricane at us? We're going to win.
I don't know. Waffle House employees are built different, man. It's a little scary, but
they have to fight clubbing before they get hired. Like they absolutely have to go in the back and knuckle up, and if they can't square up, they don't get hired.
But Rawls Alerts sent this out about them all closing due to the impact of the hurricane, and they also said exactly what has been said. Florida government officials, you need to evacuate. This is life-threatening storm. Me, calm down. It's not that serious. It's just a little wind and rain. Waffle House, we've closed all our restaurants. Me, time to evacuate. Yes, 110%. There's just certain things that you see where it's just like, okay, this is serious. I need to get the hell out. Waffle House closing because they're afraid means that you should be afraid. Means that you should be extra afraid, actually.
You heard the hurricanes are eating the dogs. I think that's rather accurate. If the
are they
dogs
eating
are getting
the cats too?
Dogs are getting fucked up via the hurricane, and that's unfortunate because they're all good boys and good girls.
Eat the cat.
Eating the dog. The way fucking Trump, you know what's funny though? That has got to be a great meme because it's the way Trump said it too. He's like, they're eating the dogs. Like he just like screamed. He reminded me
eating the dogs.
He reminded me of our dad the way he fucking said it.
Yeah. I mean, he's literally a meme machine. I don't understand how it's so easy for him to just be able to do that. But finally, Benny Johnson actually put this out. This is a video showing what happens to your home in all these categories. And I thought it was pretty cool to watch, even though it is terrifying as well to think about what's going to happen to the multitude of houses in Tampa and in all those areas in Florida. But it's only 1:30, so I figured we could pop this on.
Yeah, let's watch Death and Destruction at its finest.
Let me show you. Let's start off with a Category 1 storm. And the damage here, not too bad. A couple of shingles fall off. You can have some palm fronds bending in the wind, but everything basically remains intact. Category 2, that's where you really start to feel it. Look at the windows of the house. They can be hit from debris from the outside and already start breaking in a Category 2. Your trees are significantly bent over in the wind, and the siding of the house itself can break, flapping there in the wind, adding to those eerie noises inside. Category 3. I've heard only a Category 3, but it's not only anything except really bad news. In a Category 3, you can have the door of the house blown in because the winds get so strong. You can have the roof of the house start to flap up and down in the wind because it's going to lift off those weak points, and a lot of those trees start to fall. Category 4, the damage is even worse. You get most trees falling, most of your windows breaking, most of your shingles fly away.
It's like a giant tornado.
Cat 5 is as high as the category scale goes. By Cat 5, no shingles remain anywhere nearby. The holes in the roof get so big that the walls of the house start to fall because they're not attached to anything anymore. There won't be any trees up in the neighborhood. That's just catastrophic damage. But again, that's just from the wind. And there are other impacts from hurricanes, and they all vary through the season. So stick with the Weather Channel to keep you safe when the tropics head towards your neck of the woods.
See, what's crazy is that the high end of a hurricane is an F3 tornado. Because the F3 tornadoes are between 158 and 206. So as you're getting into there, your higher end Cat 4s and Cat 5 and Cat 5s are basically tornado winds, which makes sense, right? With the way the destruction works, that you're dealing with those tornado level winds. So, you know, I just looked that up, and that makes sense. I couldn't even imagine a fucking F5 tornado, 261 to 318 miles.
I couldn't imagine an F5 from Brock Lesnar. That's terrifying,
Dave. You exist,
and that happens after Suplex City too. So I mean, you're just done. You're just done.
Who was better at the suplexes, the multiple suplexes, Eddie, Chris Benoit, or Brock?
Kurt Angle,
Kirk Angel.
Yeah.
You just going out left field? Do you think Kurt has the best German?
He's up there, dude. I think it's kind of difficult to go against Kurt Angle in a lot of those grapples, my guy.
I think it's like, as I'm watching wrestling, one suplex, whatever, you could probably take that, right? Those multiple suplexes have to fucking hurt after. Like after like the third one, like you know how to land, but you are getting on the small of your back. I don't care if you like the big part right there. I don't care if you know how to land.
Definitely up there. Benoit is definitely up there. I'm just not sure because Kurt's such a fucking special.
Dude, but Eddie used to do the multi suplex.
Yeah,
Eddie's was really
good.
He
had the three amigos. The suplex, his like actual, yeah.
Eddie was fucking strong. So it was like for a small guy, he was really strong. So when he did them with force and authority. Like honestly, like
making a Kurt Angle movie, that's fucking awesome. I didn't even know.
I saw a hilarious Kurt Angle whatchamacallit. They did like a reel, and it was Kurt Angle just like inadvertently saying gay things to he was talking to Billy and Chuck when they were a tag team, and just inadvertently saying a whole bunch of gay things in the crowd. Like Kurt being as good, he's like, oh, shut up, I didn't mean that. Like Kurt, people forget how good Kurt was on the mic.
He's legitimately one of the best wrestlers we've ever seen,
because he was just like he was so willing to just not be serious and make fun of himself consistently that his mic skills and like the little like Boy Scouts type of persona that he gave in was absolutely amazing. It's about his Olympic run. I mean,
that's sweet.
People forget that his Olympic gold medal in wrestling is probably the greatest one of all time because of that. Because he came in, he was one of the favorites, like, but he wasn't the guy. Like he was one of the guys that people expected Kurt to be in the gold medal match. Like that wasn't like he was a nobody. But he broke his fucking neck. The man broke his neck. And it is insane. Yeah, he's the GOAT of all Olympians because, I mean, in wrestling, to have a broken neck and the way that they use their neck and their head, the absolute pain. But again, he probably wasn't on anything. He was on adrenaline. So the adrenaline pushed him through. But you know what, though? In wrestlers and their necks are legendary, because Dave and I, we have our old phys ed teacher and coach Chef, who always tells a story about, he was over at West Virginia. He was a wrestler and he had a convertible and he flipped it. And if he didn't have a gigantic wrestler's neck, he would have been dead. He slid along his head on friggin' concrete pavement. So it's like, wrestlers are just built different. And what was there? There was the NCAA kid that won with the torn ACL this past year.
I think so.
And he was just like, that's just a little bit of pain. Don't be a bitch. Like, a lot of them are also just these good old country boys too. So it's like,
and corn-fed bastards.
Yeah, they're corn-fed motherfuckers. Like they are just so used to just going through pain because they were up at 2:30 in the morning just having to start working every day before fucking school. Like that's just what they were. They were out there, they were working until 5, then maybe they would just like spray themselves with some Old Spice and go to school. And the school smelled terrible, but it's okay. They're really good wrestlers. So I digress on that. So that's how, we wanted to end it off a different direction, but I think that's as good of a way to end it off as any day.
I changed it to wrestling because you said F5.
I know, because I said F5. We were talking about storms and you change it to soccer.
Yes, I hope the damage isn't too bad. I hope it's not a category 5 hurricane. I hope it actually dips right before it fucking lands at least.
I hope it dips. And if it doesn't dip though, I hope FEMA stays the fuck away and lets the private organizations go in there and do their job because FEMA is terrible. So I just want to tell this quick story.
Kurt said he wrestled heavyweight because he liked pizza. That's a great reason.
Then you don't have to give a fuck. You're just going to know. But like I said, I was listening to Glenn Beck the other day, and Glenn Beck went with Mercury One on Thursday or Friday. Thursday he went over there, and Friday he talked about it. And they went over there to Asheville with, Representative Corey Mills. And he said that he found one FEMA truck, and it was a satellite communications truck. And it was behind like an old, I don't even know what he said. It was like an old like store, obviously closed. And he saw a bunch of FEMA people in their FEMA gear outside on a poker table just hanging out. And when he asked them, like, what are you guys doing here? Like, what's your goal? Like, everyone else is in the other parking lot getting food by the Lowe's over there. What are you guys doing? And the one guy's like, well, when we get this guy up and running, we're going to have satellite communications so we can get people registered and they could start to get their money and this and that. And, they can get it right into their bank account or they can get it on their Visa debit card. And Glenn's like, they can't. And he's like, but And then he's like, and the kid's like, yeah, once we get this going, we'll start sending out, some flyers and things like that. And it will also be all over news and on the internet so they could see that we're here. And then like Representative Mills is like, they don't have any cell phone service.
Yeah.
They don't have TV service. And it's just crazy. And then like apparently they're not going to go door to door and help people. Like that wasn't part of their purview. Like, and then another FEMA truck set up showers. And the showers weren't for people. The showers were only for the volunteers, not for the people that they were trying to help. It is such a fucked up situation.
Yeah, you do have to remember something, and that does not me saying that there aren't people in FEMA that actually just don't care about the people that got hurt. Mm-hmm. But you do have to remember that there are so many inept people that are being hired to do things that don't actually think about things and don't actually go against any of the bureaucracy in their system. So
they're all scared to lose their jobs too.
Exactly. So a lot of stuff that might seem like just evil might just be ignorance.
It's the banality of evil, though. It is the banality
yes, I'm
of
just saying,
evil. So
I'm just saying it's ignorance and ineptitude. So you got to like in that story, they didn't even fucking think about the fact that there would be no cell phone service. They didn't even think about that. They didn't think about any of that because
they're 7 days late. 7 days late. And you would think like obviously like the big news is that like they're saying they're out of money and they're going to give everyone $750 and that's going to fucking apparently help. That was Kamala's big announcement. And that they're out of money. And then there's that big article, I think it was by Newsweek. It wasn't even like a conservative outlet that was talking about the fact that they gave away $1.5 billion towards illegal immigrants, criminal aliens coming here to give exactly what the fuck the people in these hurricane areas need. Mm-hmm. And they flat out said, we probably don't have enough disaster relief money to help if another hurricane hits. So what they're saying is the people of Florida are on their own. What the fuck are we paying taxes for, Dave?
Yeah, but for the worst things. It's absolutely impossible to be this bad at PR unless you really try, and to be this bad at what you're doing unless you really try. And they are trying to be as bad as possible about what they're doing, and they're trying to make it as bureaucratic as possible, with as much red tape as possible, with as much CYA as possible, because they can turn around and say, well, we had this much for disaster relief and we had this much for all the other stuff, all of our other programs
that we're trying to
but we can't really get into our other programs for that because we're kind of budgeting them. Like there's always a reason for everything instead of the fact that they fucking suck. And that's what you see in a lot of bureaucratic things and a lot of things that are held up by red tape. It's not really our fault. See, we have it set up this way instead of just doing the damn thing that actually helps what your program is supposed to fucking do.
I mean, it's not even sad at this point because it's not fucking surprising that the federal government is this bad at what they do, right?
No.
We expect them to be terrible, but it's just like, I don't know, like, again, part of it is people need to take care of themselves and tell the federal government to get the fuck out. And, Arthur Smith's down there. He's former special forces, and he's one of the people that's kind of coordinating. He's basically created a helipad out of somebody's like backyard that they allowed to use. Mm-hmm. And again, federal government got there and was like, you're not allowed to do this. It's not registered. And he was like, get the fuck out of here. I have another helicopter coming in and when this one's going out, go away. You're not helpful. And you know what? We need people like that who are willing to be arrested later to do the right thing now. Like, because that's the thing. You got to be able to do that. So, unfortunately, the people in the line of, right now of Hurricane Milton, you're probably better off that you're going to be on your own, unfortunately, because fucking FEMA's terrible. I mean, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
The Steelers OC, because he said Arthur Smith. and
his name.
Because there are certain things that work in certain ways because you don't want things to get jumbled up, right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to these certain situations, you need to do things quickly and efficiently. And it's either they don't have a plan to do things quickly and efficiently, or you don't care about doing them quickly or efficiently. So when it's that bad, you kind of just throw everything out of the window in a type of way, unless it's for like absolute safety purposes. But you have to just be able to react to something and get people to help as much as they can. Because like I know I've seen the videos going around of like helicopters kind of floating above areas and kind of kicking things up. And I know some people are attributing malice to it, but you also have to think about it this way. What if someone like actually thought they could land there in the first place before they got there, didn't have a landing spot? We're like, oh shit, didn't know exactly where to go. It only takes so long for those blades because they're pretty powerful to kick things up.
Oh yeah.
So I understand attributing malice to these things because a lot of things that have been done with malice are just absolute ignorance and just not even caring about any of the people there. But with things like that, you have to think about the fact that there's a reason why there should be some order to things, and like having a helicopter to space to land so it doesn't kick things up. And they might not have had that. Like the helicopter might have been there to just help completely, went to the wrong area or was given the wrong area, or maybe people set up when they were supposed to go there and they didn't know the helicopter was coming. There's plenty of reasons why something like that could happen that's not malice. So you have to remember to try to attribute things the way they're supposed to be and not really jump on things like that, especially when it's like you don't know what that helicopter guy's doing. You have no idea.
You have no clue. So, yeah, we'll see. Obviously, we're praying for those in Tampa. And in the line right there, Tampa's the first one, but it's going to go across that spot of Florida, and it widens a little bit as it gets across too. So we're hoping that they're going to be okay. Going back to the top of the show, whoever is your favorite group to donate to that does disaster relief and helps, don't donate to the Red Cross and Red Cross. They suck. Don't donate to FEMA. They suck. Again, I choose mercury1.org. That is who I think is the one that we should be giving our money to because they do the most. But if you have someone there, there's church. If you find a local church that is going to be doing something there, donate to them, buy items, send it over, whatever you can. They're going to need it. Because that's going to be another place that's going to be, Dave just showed the video. They're going to be fucking leveled if it's even a Cat 4. That whole area is going to be leveled.
Real quick, to bolster your kind of fuck FEMA stance. What a friend of our show, Wilfred Riley, brought up how FEMA lists preparedness as their goal after equity and climate change. Real Live Alex looked it up. Actually fucking true. So FEMA had, like every other organization, like a lot of other things going on right now, has its head up its ass and has absolutely given into the ideology of equity, of climate change, of all these types of things where that needs to be put over the efficiency and everything that the organization or whatever it's supposed to do. And it's awful. And that's why you tell these things to go away. You're done here because obviously you don't care about what you're actually supposed to do. And you care about this weird ideological push from like fucking WEF and weird shit like that.
Yeah, no, and I could even scroll down to it because I have that page live up right now because I was looking for that. And thank you, Wilfred. You're the fucking man.
Yes,
I love you.
Wilf is great follow on Twitter.
Will's a great follow on any social media too. Even if you have Facebook, this group, he is fucking hilarious on Facebook. So right here. So I'm going to take it up to the top so everyone knows it's a legitimate FEMA website, FEMA.gov/about, and you got to go to the strategic plan. So you're going to go. So the way it is, don't go to this top shit because it's top shit. It scrolls down and it's dumb. You can click on strategic plan, but it's not great. It's easier when you scroll down to the bottom and go to the about, and that kind of brings up this sidebar and things like that. Then you're going to click on strategic plan when you go there. And then here it is. They talk about their strategic plan. And when you scroll down, you're going to keep going, strategic plan, blah, blah, blah. Previous update, 3 bold, ambitious goals. This is where you want to stop at. The goals and objectives laid out in the plan will help ensure success for our agency and emergency management and community. Goal 1, instill equity as a foundation of emergency management. So let's keep fucking digging. Shall we, Dave? Share this tab instead. Can you see this now? Goal 1?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Goal 1, instill equity as a foundation of emergency management. 1.1. So let's just go over here on the side tabs. Diverse workforce. 1.2. People first approach. 1.3. Equitable outcomes. So this show is going a little bit fucking longer than we want, but that is.
Yeah, I was like, let's have a shorter show today, but now we're looking at it.
Sorry,
it's good reason. It's good reason. It's good reason.
These unique contexts. So disasters impact people and communities differently. Obviously, every disaster context based on demographic. Obviously, poorer areas get hit harder, but everyone gets fucked up, right? Boom. These unique contexts require tailored solutions that are designed to meet their unique needs. Okay, for that, honestly, if you're looking and trying to give FEMA the benefit of the doubt, you're probably if you're trying to
steel man them as much as possible.
that is not a bad approach, right? Because you're going to handle the mountains of Appalachia very different than you're going to handle the bayou, or you're going to handle that part of, Florida, right? Different places. You aren't going to come in with a one size fits all. Different demographics, different things going on, where maybe in Florida, that area, you have more access to resources directly around, right? That area gets fucked up 5 minutes down the road where they're okay. You can go to a Walmart, get supplies in, get Costco. You know what I mean? Where difference is in Appalachia, they're remote. So to get ship people to them, the bridges are fucked up. You have to airlift everything there. So we'll get different approaches, right? Okay. Now this is when it gets fucking gay. Underserved communities, as well as specific identity groups, often suffer disproportionately from disasters. As a result, disasters worsen inequities already present in society. Okay. Cycle compounds the challenges faced by these communities and increases their risk to future disasters. By instilling equity as a foundation of emergency management and striving to meet the unique needs of underserved communities, the emergency management community can work to break this cycle and build more resilient nation. So what they're saying is the poor black person that gets their house destroyed, it has it worse than the rich white person that gets their house destroyed. Why? Because the rich white person has money. That's really all it is. And that they're white, which is not true. Okay? If your house gets destroyed and you don't have anywhere else to go, with money in your pockets or not, that fucking sucks, right? Especially if your whole area is devastated. Ask the people of Asheville to have some money. Are they doing well right now? No. Their whole place is fucked up. So let's keep going. So Executive Order 13985. So it's January 20th, 2021. This is a Biden executive order. Defines equity as the consistent and systematic, fair, just, and impartial treatment of all individuals, including individuals who belong to underserved communities that have been denied such treatment, such as Black, Latino, and Indigenous and Native. Oh, Dave, we qualify. Indigenous. We were born here.
Barely.
We were born here. We qualify. We're indigenous.
That's not how indigenous. That's not how they believe indigenous.
Don't care. I don't like that.
That's how they use indigenous.
Listen, this is going to be like CTE and like jujitsu. I don't believe in postmodernism. It doesn't exist. I'm just going to stand up. Anyway, and indigenous and Native American persons. Oh, I'm celebrating Christopher Columbus / Indigenous People Day. I am going to celebrate Indigenous People Day, and I'm going to put bold. I was born in America, therefore I'm indigenous. Thanks for this. Yeah. Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders and other persons of color, members of religious minorities, lesbians, gay, bisexuals, transgender, queer, and intersex, aka everybody, everyone. The thing with the so the lesbian, gay community, bi on its own, trans is on its own, queer means everything else, right? So they're not together. That's like when they say. That's when they put like Asian American and Pacific Islanders together. How fucking offensive can you be?
It's insane.
You're going to say that Samoans are the same as fucking Japanese people? Are you like Japanese, Chinese, and Vietnamese and Koreans? If you call them the same, they will fucking
don't fucking okay? Like each other.
They hate each other and they will shiv you if you mistaken it. Okay? That's like if you're sitting there, David, me and you are Ecuadorian. Call us Peruvian. I don't even care about that community. I might fight you. I'm not fucking Peruvian, okay? I'm Ecuadorian. Like, to group them together and for them to accept it just shows that they're retarded, okay? All right, anyway. So just letter people, persons with disabilities, okay, people with disabilities maybe deserve a little bit of special treatment. Persons who live in rural areas, so fucking hicks are retarded, that's what they're saying. And persons otherwise adversely affected by persistent poverty or inequality. But hold on, by their own standards, they should be all over in Appalachia, Dave. They should be all over Appalachia. They should have been there before it hit to prepare. Am I right? If they knew it was going to have a chance there, isn't that a rural community?
Look, we understood what this is about from the fucking picture that they have up there.
They put the fucking person on the. How is he getting down?
It's such an insane picture
How
to put up.
How is he getting down?
It's so weird. It's like we value this much higher than we value this. Congratulations, we're helping you.
I don't know what reminds me of fucking Scary Movie 2. I don't need your help. I can do it myself. And he starts sucking himself off. His legs are fucking flailing in the air. That was, I don't know why. That's a great scene. Anyway, let's keep going. Additionally, underdeserved. I keep on saying underdeserved. They don't fucking deserve it. Underserved communities refers to population sharing a particular characteristic, aka we're sectioning you off, as well as geographic communities that have been systematically denied a full opportunity to participate in aspects of economic, social, and civil life.
What the fuck? Like
that was an executive order.
Keep going. Just keep going. I'm not even going to get into that. That's the most insane shit possible.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's just go next. Objective 101. Cultivate FEMA that prioritizes and harnesses a diverse workforce. So, again, meritocracy.
This is their first goal. This is number one out of everything.
First goal. To get people because of their skin color, their sex, and their gender, not because of their quality of their work, okay? FEMA is committed to ensuring that its employees increasingly reflect the diversity of the nation. Okay, so 12% of your workforce is black, okay? And what is it, 13 or 16% should be Spanish? Because if you really want to reflect it, if it's an even number, then it's not reflected. And most of them should be women. So that if you want to truly reflect it, but they don't. Because to them, reflecting it is, if there's 50 of us, then 25 should be women, 25 should be men, and we should have at least even number of black, Latino, gay, and that's not how it works. Gay people are a fraction. Trans people are a fraction. If you really want it to work, then you need to have like maybe one trans person per like 9 teams, 10 teams, because they don't actually they're not as prevalent in society. So I hate that. We're like, it reflects our diversity of our nation. Okay, and let's do it by percentage, right? But anyway. Agency will continue to build a workforce that includes the many identities, races, ethnicities, backgrounds, abilities, ages, cultures, and beliefs of the people it serves. So, it was already doing that. They were just called qualified when they did it. It was already doing that. We've always, since I've been alive, the best people in the 90s generally got the job. Don't get me wrong. If the person on the top is a racist piece of shit, they're probably going to hire more white people. But that doesn't mean everyone. That doesn't mean the black person now doesn't have an opportunity because one racist asshole doesn't hire them, right? So we've been doing this shit. So the agency will also invest in the professional development for all female employees to foster an environment in which individuals feel safe, valued, and empowered. AKA, they snitch on each other. They are constantly looking over their shoulder. They're scared of what they say because they know that there's a few people in the office that can get them fucking fired. That never is a good environment. I like reading these bold ones. I'm going to skip that stupid one. So this requires that FEMA's leadership and workforce demonstrate an increased commitment to integrating diversity, equity, and inclusion in delivering the agency's mission. There's DEI. So, diversity of immutable characteristics, not diversity of thought, but we're going to make people remember this. Equity, that means making sure the outcomes are the same, not the opportunities are the same. And inclusion does not mean that you just are okay with it. It means that you accept, you acknowledge, and you praise them for existing in the way that they are. People need to understand when they are saying these things, what they actually mean. Those words are benign on their face. Everyone wants diversity is fine. We don't care about what people look like, what they believe. That's how a person, when they read that, thinks. And they're like, oh, cool. Equity. Oh, I've heard about that in a house. It must be good. They don't know what the fuck equity means communism. And then with inclusion, they're just thinking like, oh, okay, cool. We just include everyone. That's fine. That's not what they mean. People need to understand this. Okay. Again, FEMA must draw upon its staff's diversity and range of experiences to consistently inform programming, policy, and decision-making. The fucked up part of here, Dave, is if you hire a black dude from Beverly Hills and expect them to give you an authentic black experience, you're fucking kidding yourself. Because people are like, oh, what is it to be black in America? Okay, that dude in Beverly Hills has no fucking clue what it's like, okay? Like, just because their skin color is, it doesn't mean that they share values. And that also means that just because you're black doesn't mean you think the same way. One size does not fit all.
It's just really fucking stupid.
We're going to go on
because
to the page.
If you are going to do anything that actually wants to partake in the way that someone in a certain area might have need help in a certain way, you would actually just take it from regions of the country, and you would decide to get certain people from certain regions of the country because they know those places better. You wouldn't care about anything else, but they do care about these other things because it's about their ideology. It's about the revolution. It's not about actually being good at what you're doing.
So let's keep going here. So People First approach builds on the 2018 to 2022 FEMA strategic plan by making programs simpler. So, okay, making programs simpler because you're fucking stupid. You can't understand things. More accessible and more user-friendly benefits everyone. So let's go here. A community's history, culture, racial composition, economic status influence its ability to access federal services, aka Governor Hochul saying black people don't know what a computer is, okay? Like, that is where they are. And that fucking great video of the one guy basically acting like a fucking gorilla smacking his computer was fucking hilarious. Operating through a people-first approach requires that FEMA resources can be accessed and leveraged by underserved communities in ways that meet their needs.
I want to answer this question real quick. So you got to actually buy dirt. You have to buy good quality dirt. You pour it out. You make it into, I can't remember exactly what, a dirt cookie. Then you eat that cookie. That's the authentication experience. I'm not even kidding. It's not everywhere in Haiti, but there are places in Haiti that actually make dirt cookies. There are people that actually sustain a life in Haiti off of making dirt cookies, and some children apparently love it.
All right, so this is interesting. FEMA's breaking down private property. Which didn't think I'd be saying that today, okay? But FEMA is breaking down the value of private property, okay? Implement changes so assistance accessible to people and communities served, including accepting more forms of documentation to prove ownership and occupancy for homeowners and renters, reducing the administrative burden on low-income and rural applicants, aka saying it is easier to say you live here. Basically, you probably just have to write on the paper, I live here, and they accept it. Prioritizing efforts for FEMA caseworkers to contact applicants deemed ineligible due to occupancy or ownership verification so they can help them navigate the application process. Here's the thing. This is offensive because if you rent the home or you own it, you went through the process of it, you know how to verify it. Maybe you might have to go through a bunch of files and shit, but you're not stupid. They don't let people fool you. They're treating them like they're stupid. And changing how we calculate the threshold for property losses to qualify for direct housing assistance. I would like to see how they calculate that. That's where I want to go. So let's go more bold. I want to read these bold statements more. All right. FEMA decisions about policy and program implementation must be routinely informed by how they will impact underserved communities. So mind you, here we go. It all depends on who you are and how you're going to get treated. Again, this might make sense to why FEMA is reacting slow, because these communities are not of value. These communities they don't care about them. They're the poor mountain people that are probably going to vote for Donald Trump. They don't give a fuck. In Georgia, there are the swamp dwellers. They don't care about them. Tennessee, there are a bunch of whiskey drinking country hicks. They don't care about them. They are not the underserved community, even though a lot of these communities would qualify for that underserved kind of thing. They're not the ones they care about. Let's keep going. Let's go to the next one here. Bold. FEMA and our partners must have the capabilities and tools to advance equity in the agency's work. And they are. They equitably split up the money to go to criminal aliens instead of people that need it and now don't have any. So that is equity in action right here. Yep. That is it. Let's go to 1.3, and I'm almost done with this. This is annoying me. It's fucking pissing me off. So 1.3, achieve equitable outcomes for those that we serve. FEMA must direct its resources to eliminate disparities in the outcomes. Again, we are going to play God. We are not just going to help people indiscriminately. We are going to pick and choose who we help, why we help them, based off of immutable characteristics and things that they cannot control outside of the freaking queer stuff, which is them just deciding to be fucking weird. Because queer just means weird people, okay? They're using that as a political term. It's a political party now, queer. They are a political affiliation. But in reality, queer just means weird. So if you're a fucking weirdo, you're queer, okay? That's about it. Well, let's read this. Equity in action. I love these little boxes. FEMA's building resilient infrastructure in communities and flood mitigation assistance programs are participating in a pilot of the White House Justice 40 initiative to advance environmental justice. Under this initiative, a minimum of 40% of certain federal benefits will be prioritized to disadvantaged communities. Again, what the fuck is a disadvantaged community? You want to know what it is, Dave? One that the leftists created over 100 years ago.
Yes. When
they were funneling slaves into projects.
We used to smear them in my day.
We smear the queer, baby.
One of the best sports ever created.
All right. That they basically said the same thing there. Warren D. Miller, Equity Subcommittee Vice Chair. There's a fucking Equity Subcommittee. Fuck this guy. Equity must be baked into the front end of the federal declaration process, not an afterthought. Critical to the process for decision makers to be intentional in all phases of the disaster management cycle to minimize discriminatory actions to prevent undesired outcomes that plague underserved and marginalized communities.
So we need present discrimination to make up for past discrimination.
Yep.
Is exactly what he's saying. I'm about done with this. We don't need to go to goals.
And here's the thing, and I wonder,
like, it's very obvious that their goals are fucking terrible, and that's why Asheville's been so bad.
and I also wonder, Dave, and we'll see if this is different, if there are black people that are going to be affected, major black communities in this way on this Milton, are they going to be there in 2 seconds? Are they going to find the money to send these people and then everyone else can? I think that's a really interesting case study. If there is a prominent black area in Florida.
I still think they won't, mainly because they actually did use it all on criminal aliens in order for them to help them. I actually think they actually did use everything that they had budgeted, and because their budgets are so fucking tight, they can't actually use it for anyone else. So I think they won't even budge on that, to be completely honest.
You know it's hilarious? They use this stat in 2020 alone. 22 weather and climate disaster events are with total losses exceeding 1 billion. In comparison, the previous record set was in 2011 and 2017. They don't tell you when they started keeping records, because you can go and find significantly worse storms and significantly worse things going on for all the time. Okay. And here they talk about climate change, but bottom line, they believe in climate change here. So they are going to work things out to be climate. Here, this is going to be my last poll, Dave. I know you're getting annoyed by this. People will take a people first approach to increase climate literacy. Climate literacy. We are going to tell you what you need to believe. Okay. Period. Develop tools and allocate resources informed by future risk estimates to target investments to create a more equitable and resilient nation. Resilience means, and thank you to James Lindsay for a lot of these terms and defining them. Resilient doesn't mean to sit there and be flexible and be able to, go with the flow, because that's what resilient normally means. That's not what it means. Resilient means that you just must accept the narrative. And if not, we are going to struggle session you until you do. So if you're in your schools, and this is a part of the to sustainability goals of the UN, climate resilience, being resilient, you'll see this, and you'll see this in your schools. You will see this in everything that has to talk with DEI, social emotional learning. They're all encompassed together. When you see resilience, that means that if you don't go along, you will be struggle sessioned. But man, we could do a whole fucking show on this. And maybe one day we will come back to this and look at it. But yeah, we went longer than we wanted, but it was worth it because people need to see that shit. And that is your taxpayer dollars at work, everybody. And if you want that, go vote for Kamala. But you're not an American. I'm just going to come out and say it. It is not a very American thing to do, to sit there and say, you deserve it more than they deserve it because you each look different, or you want to fuck something different, or you're a boy and you're a girl.
No, you just find a way to help people. That's what Americans do. They just find a way to help each other.
Because you know something, in Asheville, in Georgia, in Tennessee, when you're sitting there and you're walking to your neighbor's house and you're sitting there and they're crying and you pick them up and you go and you try and help them find some shit, you're not walking up to them first going, who you voting for? Oh, Harris, fuck off, bye. Like, that is not what you're going to do in a disaster situation. It's not what they're doing there. They are sitting there and they are grabbing each other. They are picking each other up. They are hugging each other. They are crying with each other. And they are saying, we are going to be okay. We are going to be okay. I don't know where Billy is. We're going to find Billy. We're going to go get him. He's going to be okay. We are going to pick this up. We are a strong community. We love each other. Let's go to X, Y, and Z. Let's get over here. We're going to get in the helicopter. We're going to get you to safety. We'll be back. We're going to find Billy. That is all they are caring about right now. That is what they are doing. The political affiliations mean nothing. Immutable characteristics mean nothing right now. And who they want to fuck means nothing. Because I guarantee Representative Corey Mills who is a staunch conservative, is not flying into that mountain and seeing a purple-haired fucking he-she and going, you ain't going to vote for me and you're trans. Bye. Not doing that. They are sitting there and asking them, are you okay? What can we do? How can we contact the loved one for you? Do you know where they last were? And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all FEMA should be doing. And they're not. And we need to get them the fuck out. Period. Go away, FEMA. So, Dave, this went longer than you wanted it to. But
it did. But it's okay.
But I think it was an important end there.
Yes.
Because, we talked about the hurricane. FEMA has much to do with the hurricanes. But we need to go. It is past midnight here on the East Coast. Even though, are you technically still the East Coast? West Virginia considered? Are you landlocked at West Virginia?
Yes.
So you're not the East Coast?
No, it's still Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, but you're not the East Coast. You don't count anymore. Oh, did you freeze?
No, I'm here.
No, your picture froze. This is also, there you go. Yeah, you're moving now. Oh boy. But yeah, no, you're not people anymore. I'm sorry. You are not people. But again, everyone, we appreciate you all for watching. We're here. We're going to try and be here every single day. Tomorrow we have our regular show, and well, actually today, because it's Wednesday, we are excited to have John Trent from That Park Place jumping on. You want to hear some of the best news in terms of gaming, nerd culture, and things like that. That Park Place is absolutely fucking killing it on that front. John's doing an amazing job. We're excited to talk to him and have him on. So we'll be here, later today now because it's the 9th. But we'll be here. We'll be talking to him, and then again we'll be doing our post show that we do. Where we, probably a quick one. Hopefully it's not going to be this, but I mean, an hour and a half isn't bad, Dave. But we'll probably be doing more of an hour. Get it in there. Nate, you will be getting your double show, so be excited. But yeah. So everyone, thank you so much. If you watched on X, don't forget to smash the like button wherever you are. If you're watching on X, repost and things like that. And please, if you can, final request, and I'll start adding this as well. Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever you listening to this, if you listen via podcast, really helps if you rate us there. Outside of just following and subscribing, giving us ratings absolutely helps. If you're not going to give 5 stars, don't fucking do it. But only do it, if you're going to, but I don't care. Actually, I don't care how you rate us, but please give us a rating. That would help. It helps push us up. It helps get us noticed in the podcasting space. So we would really, really, really appreciate that as well. If you like what you hear, if not, you can just keep it moving and just please don't touch those stars. Just only 5. That would be nice. All right. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and anyone in the podcast space that's going to be listening. We appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
We'll be back tomorrow. Bye, guys.